We take a step back, and we had the pleasure of collaborating during the digital age, under the guidance of His Royal Highness, how we can diversify our economy.
Right.
And by the way, we've achieved 56% diversification of a non-oil GDP.
Remarkably quickly.
Ahead of the 2030 mark. But really, it helped humanity overcome the Great Reset with the Great Resilience. And that's what the digital fabric gave us. And the investment thesis for the kingdom was very simple. If we double down on talent, technology, and build trust with partners, we can achieve success. And we're following the same blueprint for the intelligence age. Because the intelligence age would need two things: the great acceleration, but the great adoption. And it's not only important that you focus on the supply side of the world, because that's going to trigger a couple of winters and bubbles, but it's the adoption. And that's why the kingdom, we have energized the industrial age. It's only natural that we energize the intelligent age. Last year, we clocked 11 cents per million input-output tokens. It's only natural for us to become the most AI-enabled nation in the world. We're doubling down on generative AI in healthcare with UC Berkeley, and I'm going to share some success stories shortly. We're doubling down on agentic AI, both in the public and private sector, where every private and public worker is going to have an agent to infuse that 10x productivity. And we have delivered the first physical AI deployment when it comes to a fully robotics heart transplant done within our national hospitals. Last but not least is how we can become really the test bed for innovators and investors. Saudi last year, Andy, had the largest investment ticket in AI and the largest success story, a Nobel Prize winner, a Saudi American, Professor Omar Yaghi, working with UC Berkeley and our national labs, using AI to create new chemistry, metal organic frameworks, effectively a sponge with the right pore size to capture water from air and carbon. And when it comes to the largest ticket, you can ask Jonathan Ross, who was introduced to the world 2 years ago on LEAP, the largest tech event right now in the region, and by a mile from a number of other tech events. But on stage, how the kingdom is tackling the memory wall, how we're doubling down on memory on the chip, next to the chip, and near to the chip. And we have demonstrated that 11 cents per million input-output token, energizing Aramco, who wrote the first PO for Jonathan back then, how we could deliver bottom line efficiency with $1 billion last year, and this year is creeping up to $2 billion of real AI adoption, and how we can achieve the lowest uplift cost and carbon intensity. And this is a true testimony that, and a call out to our partners, that in the intelligence age, you need a partner that can accelerate AI, but more critically, adopt AI, and the kingdom stands tall as your partner of choice. First time I met His Royal Highness, even when I was in the Silicon Valley, every year he would double or triple the target on us. So the ambitions is indeed global. And His Royal Highness has an investment thesis. The more prosperous the kingdom, the Middle East is, the more prosperous the world is. And it's not a surprise that we fuel 50% of the digital economy in the kingdom, for the region. We fuel 3x the tech force of our neighbors. And as a result, we fuel 50% of the VC funding and the number of unicorns. And as a byproduct of that, it's not a surprise that the World Economic Forum called out Saudi Arabia as the #1 and #2 digital riser consecutively. Going back to the intelligence age, we have energized the industrial world, and we helped the world achieve more than $100 trillion of economic value. We want to help the world achieve the next $100 trillion by energizing the intelligence age. And we're laser focused, since we're talking here about the technological walls, we're focused on addressing the energy wall, 83 gigawatts the world needs. We have already allocated, His Royal Highness has a committee that meets monthly on this, and he has designated one of the subcommittees, His Royal Highness Prince Abdullah bin Salman, and we have allocated land energy that is available with more than 10 gigawatts worth of capacity today, in which we can deploy, and we've already have announced it in the last visit of His Royal Highness to the Honorable President in DC. We had Jensen Huang, we had Elon Musk, who are today in Davos. All have announced major investments and deployments with definitive agreements to go large in the kingdom. In terms of adoption, One true story. LM, the most powerful Arabic LLM, we presented it to Adobe, and Adobe right now have adopted it across all of their product suites. If you want to use an Arabic LLM, it's powered by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And we have partnered with Qualcomm to bring to the world the first hybrid AI laptop and endpoints. So these are true testimonies that the kingdom, we're not going local here or regional, we're going global. It's all about acceleration, adoption with the augmentation approach. Just to build on what has been said, there are a few players that are just focused on the supply side of the world. That's like throwing good money after bad. And that's why it's not only takes capital, but a captive market and real use cases. So the X-ray example, we have the largest virtual hospital today in the world, part of the success story that we have under Vision 2030. And what has happened as we deployed those AI agents for those radiologists to be able to detect whether a tumor is benign or malignant, they were able to see more CT scans, more MRIs, more X-rays to be able to serve and help and protect more lives. Back, taking a step back to that first robotic story of a heart transplant, he's able to get patients outside of the ICU room and the CCU room within 4 hours or 48 hours versus 4 to 8 weeks. This is a remarkable example of how, if you're talking about a responsible approach of leadership in the intelligence age, you need that acceleration, adoption with the augmentation approach.